And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
It's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma.
ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Head to Head with Brian Parker. I am he. And we are back, baby! It's season 6, baby, of the Empower TV network. Happy birthday, Empower. We just celebrated our 5-year anniversary. August 2020 is when we launched this channel. Not necessarily knowing what to expect, or even how long it lasts. So, I think every year it lasts. I'm not as much surprised, but grateful. A lot of the responses, a lot of the views that we get, whether it's on Roku, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube, really lets us know that there is a place for our channel, a place for our voice and content. So, while we are celebrating 5 years, we are also celebrating you during those 5 years as well. So, to everyone that has clicked on a show, done any streaming whatsoever on Roku or Amazon, any of those things, we appreciate you. Thank you. We look forward to the next 5 years and then the next 5 after that and after that. Just really pleased that I can't believe we've done the head-to-head show for 5 years and we're going into season 6. But here we are. I look just as beautiful as I did then. Hadn't aged at all.
Absolutely.
So if y'all want to know my techniques for Fountain of Youth, please send that to theparkermedia@gmail.com and I'll be sure to, let you know what I do, which is nothing. Anyway, so thank y'all for that. Again, we are streaming live and direct on Instagram, Facebook, not LinkedIn anymore, but YouTube, Amazon, Roku. And then the show does appear on Spotify by the following day. So you can always take me to go with you if you're not able to catch the show live. And the shows that we do put on Spotify are video and audio. So if you are in the car and maybe it's you and someone else, instead of just listening, they can also see as well. But you keep both hands on the wheel and you keep your eyes on the road. I'll give you enough to listen to. So we are again thankful, grateful for everybody being able to do that. We do this show with you guys, which is why we went a couple of seasons back and started live streaming the show as opposed to just doing a pre-record and then just broadcasting it on a certain day, because we wanted to be able to engage with you guys in real time. That way, a lot of times when you ask me questions, it can't be scripted because it's popping up in real time. So I have no prepared answers or remarks for you when you come live and you ask me a question. Whether you watch us live or you do watch us on the playback, it is very appreciated. The one thing that we ask that you do when you do that is like, share, and most importantly, especially if you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, click the bell. It'll let you know every time that we go live with something. Share the show to people. Let them know what folks out there are talking about. And secondly, look, we talk a lot of politics on this show, and I make no apology for that. There are so many things going out in the world of politics that I feel like I need to let people know. Are there other sources for this kind of information? Are there places that I go for my information? Absolutely. Whether it is Midas Touch with Ben Marcellus and his brothers, whether it's Brian Tyler Cohen, not Cohen, uh, whether it's the Bulwark, used to be the Young Turks, and then Jank and Anna just lost their damn minds. Um, but there are plenty, or even Roland Martin Unfiltered. Um, I love Roland. Roland don't hold nothing back, no bullshit kind of person. I love that. Bring on his panelists, and they just chop it up. And the reason that all these voices are important, number one, they're all independent media. Independent media in this space and in this day and age is becoming more and more important. Why? Because legacy media, whether it's ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, Fox News, CNN, if I didn't already say them, all of those legacy media outlets, of course, they all have a lean and a certain bias. There's nothing wrong with that. You're human. You're going to have a lean and a bias. You're going to see the world through a certain lens based a lot of times on your upbringing and just life experiences. Um, and that's okay if you can put it in context and things of that nature. But if your lean is being dictated because of corporate sponsorships, that's where we run into a problem. And what I mean by that is that take for instance Paramount and their capitulation to Donald Trump. Well, they had a merger that they wanted to do with Skydance, and they were willing to uh, settle a lawsuit with Donald Trump that they did not have to settle. They would have won had they fought it, but because they know the punitive person that Donald Trump is, that it would have prevented them from their merger with Skydance. So, if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, Paramount is the parent company of CBS. CBS has a show called 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes, every time there's a presidential election, brings on the nominees from both parties for an interview. The show, again, is called 60 Minutes. It only lasts for 60 minutes. So, and there's commercials involved too. So, when they air the show, when the show goes to air, they have to edit in a way that fits within the 60-minute time frame. Okay? That makes sense so far, right? Well, and I didn't even have this on my thing to talk about, but it's connected to to the whole legacy media versus independent. Um, well, Donald Trump refused because a couple years ago when he interviewed with Leslie Stahl, he had to walk away from her because she was just asking too many good questions and he couldn't deal with it. So he thought he wasn't going to get a fair shake on 60 Minutes. And by fair shake, what we mean is he knew he would be fact checked in real time. And they, a lot of times in this last presidential cycle, the Trump campaign refused to go on to any platforms that would not agree. I don't know if you even knew this, Lori. They wouldn't go on to any platforms that would not agree to not being fact checked. So you're telling me the only way you can be on my platform is if I know you're lying and I allow you to lie and I don't sit there and push back on the lie, that excludes me because somehow me telling you lying, I'm the person that's wrong. Yeah, that was what they were doing, and because that was the issue that they had when Trump was late for the NABJ um, conference that they had, the National Association of Black Journalists, and he came out and he just was really just rude to the panelists and everything. Is because he once they got there, they were like, "Look, you can't fact check him," and they were like, "Well, wait a minute." That's what journalism is making sure that, because as journalists, we want to make sure we get the story right. Well, if we're putting somebody out, we got to make sure that they're getting it right. And that was a problem for some reason, Lori. I don't know what fact checking is a problem with them. So there's a lot of instances where they didn't want to go on platforms, and they knew 60 Minutes would not agree to not fact check in real time. Well, Kamala Harris had no problem with that. So you got one person that's willing to come out and interview and not worry about being fact checked, and you got somebody else that's worried about it. So tell me who the more honest candidate would be just from that sliver of information. But anyway, Kamala Harris went on. She was asked some questions about Gaza, and her answer was a non-answer. It was a word salad. She just stumbled all over it. She did. It was a terrible answer. The reason that it was a terrible answer is because she is part of the Biden administration, and the Biden administration has was not very good when it came to Gaza. They were too all in with Israel, and Kamala was in a bad position of having to be her own person, but still be the vice president who basically is in line with the current president. So it would be hard for her in that position to overly criticize the way that the administration that she's part of was dealing with Gaza. So she really gave a answer non-answer. But 60 Minutes, in the pursuit of time, trimmed it down somewhat and didn't make it sound nearly as bad as it was. Well, Trump took exception to that, even though we've seen Fox News do that with him all the time. Most relevant was when he was asked about the files that he would release. And when they asked him about the JFK files, yeah. And when they asked him about MLK, yeah. When they asked him about, and they said Epstein, he says, yeah. And then they kind of cut away from it. But the longer part showed him then kind of retracting and going, well, maybe not that one as much, because, we wouldn't want people that were accused of stuff wrongly to be dragged out or something like that, is the way he said it. So he gave even a more detailed reason as to why he would be a little less hesitant about releasing the Epstein file, presumably because his name is in them for whatever reason. And he knew that, so he started kind of backtracking. They did not air his backtrack. So they cleaned up they edited his responses, no problem. But when CBS did that with Kamala Harris, he sued CBS for billions of dollars because he said that they were being favorable to her. Now, here's the crazy part, Lori. Even if that was true, he still won. So even if they did do what he says they did, well, obviously it didn't work. But he still sued them because he's trying to sue them into submission and into capitulation. And because they know that for any mergers to be approved, they have to go through the FCC. Go ahead and bring in the franchise while I'm talking about this Skydance capitulation. There's the franchise there. How you doing, franchise?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. Hey,
Welcome to season 6 of Head to Head. Been 5 years. We so happy. You haven't aged a bit either. Something about the markers.
I said it last season. I come in late and stuff, so I'm probably on season 4.
Oh no! You still there with us? You still with us? I was talking about this capitulation from Paramount for the merger with Skydance and the importance of independent media now more so than ever. So to wrap this up, though, that Skydance and the CEO of Paramount would stand to make a lot of money off of this merger, and knowing that if they got on the bad side of Trump, he would just simply tell his FCC not to approve the merger, and that person would lose out on billions and billions of dollars. So instead of fighting a case against Trump that they would have won, they would have at least entered into discovery. He would have had to do a deposition. All those things would have come out, and they could even cross-examine him and said, "Hey, well, what about when Fox News edited your interview when they asked you were you going to release the Epstein files?" He would not have shown up for a deposition. He would have retracted it, but he then would have probably acted out against them and prevented the merger. All of that is true, but they did that in the interest of business, not the interest of being independent media. And they also, in part of their, not that they also gave him millions of dollars for his presidential library. So he's going to have a lot of things in this presidential library, including a $1 billion Qatari jet. Um, so ABC has given him millions of dollars for his presidential library. CBS has given him millions of dollars. Lawyers have given him millions of dollars of pro bono work. So he's basically doing a mob style shakedown in plain sight. And they also will be airing things more favorable to him and having folks not be as critical as him on their platforms and things like that. We will see that. Also, what looks to be a casualty of that as well, even though CBS just won't admit it, even though it's obvious. The late night with Stephen Colbert has been canceled. It will not be renewed. I think in May it's when it's going to end, and they're citing the fact that late night does not make as much money as it used to, which that part is true. That is totally true. But it was the best running late night show. So when you're thinking about all of the other ones that have not made that decision, what is it that CBS can't figure out that's keeping the other ones lean and still floating? So it's kind of crazy, but Colbert had criticized Trump, and him and Jimmy Kimmel have really been uh, uh, enemies of Trump because of the way they cast him on late night TV. I mean, I'm wondering what's going to happen to Saturday Night Live at some point too, because, and I mean, now if Saturday Night Live goes as long as they've been around, it's been 50 years of them. That's going to be a problem. I don't think Lauren Michaels is going quietly into the night like that, but we will see. But the whole idea is that legacy media has too many interests in things, and independent media is not subject to things like that. So whether you're watching head to head, whether you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered, whether you're watching Brian Tyler Cohen, Midas Touch, Bulwark, a lot of these other platforms, the independent media is going to give you their views without fear or favor, without worrying about corporate sponsors and donors stepping in and telling them and regulating what they can and cannot say. Jay, I'll let you jump in on that.
Yeah. So again, welcome back to season 6. You guys are looking fabulous. Audience, I can see through the lens. You guys are looking fabulous too.
They are.
So there's a lot to deconstruct, but we'll be really quick with it. So the merger needed the approval, like my brother said. It's obvious that it was an interest of money and time. Could they have won the lawsuits, the frivolous lawsuits? Absolutely. Every legal scholar said they could. But as my brother pointed out, sure, you win the lawsuit, which is going to take some months, and then you also have to then prove and then sue yourself and prove that the federal government is hindering you, and that's going to take time, and that's losing out on billions of dollars. So it's easier to just pay this man off, cancel a TV show, and be done with it because you're getting out of the business anyway.
Right.
And so the thing about independent media versus what our traditional media is, understand that like newspapers and stuff, that all had a political background.
Mhm.
You know, formal newspapers and stuff were the institutions came about because political parties wanted to spread their views and stuff. So politics has always played a large role in how media reports things. Just for historical context for that. What I will say is that over the years, though, the mainstream media, especially print, and then eventually news, TV news, had a standard and like a code of ethics for journalism and stuff. So
Yes.
while we talk about like even this show, so we're not paid or sponsored by anybody, but we're also not held to the same scrutiny as a CBS
Mm-hmm.
or any other TV network out there, not excluding Fox News because they're entertainment. They're not a news service. There's a lawsuit. So, um, so there's some good and bad to having because like you're going to get our unfiltered opinion and stuff, but and I say all the time, hey, fact check me, and bring it to the comments if you disagree with something I say. I'd be more than happy to have that debate with you or argument, just whatever temperament you're in that day. Um, but just to wrap it up and stuff. So there are pros and cons. Like SNL been around 50 years. There's not a lot of things that are going to be around 100 years. So whether it's the end of Stephen Colbert, who I watch religiously, his monologue on YouTube, but YouTube's is not monetized enough for that kind of production and stuff. And so that's what they're talking about. A lot of people consume their media and stuff. They're doing like I'm doing. Like I don't want to watch everything of Stephen Colbert because I don't want to watch every celebrity interview and stuff, but I love his monologues and stuff. So I consume that part of it. But that's hard to keep up the whole show. And so, you could say it's coincidence. You can't argue that the show isn't making money like it used to. Without having access to their financials, I can see that argument. Look how many print. If you live in Charlotte, there's no Charlotte Observer, the newspaper for Charlotte, used to have a prominent building downtown. That building's gone. They demolished it and stuff. They couldn't keep up with the times. And it didn't have anything about what they were putting out. It's just how people consume now. Just like I was telling my daughter, like, if I was 16 years old, what kind of job would I want to have right now? Well, I don't know because technology is moving at such a rapid pace that if you told me 10 years ago, I'd been like, I want to be in IT. But with the advent of AI now, even being a coder or IT specialist might be going the way of the dodo because AI can do that job for you and it can do it a lot better and a lot faster. So when we talk about these media companies and stuff like that, understand too that our technology and our culture are driving their demise as well.
Yes.
And Trump, I mean, it's Trump too. He's taking advantage of it, but there are other factors at play.
Oh, absolutely, and yeah, and great points to that, Jermaine, too. And hello, Virgil from Manchester, England. Glad you could join us, brother. Sorry that it's bloody boiling over there. Yeah, it's been a little warm on this side too, but lately we've had a lot of storms and stuff, so it's kind of cooled it off. And my garden just grow exponentially, so I do appreciate a little bit of rain. But yeah, Jermaine, you know what? That's a good point, and I think there has to be a balance, right? Like, because independent media, you're right, doesn't have the same standards. But what's happening is in the old days when we were kids, and even before that, families literally sat down after dinner and watched the evening news.
But that was the only way they could consume it, and that's kind of
Yeah. That's where I'm going. But now there's so many other options out there, and families don't sit down after the evening news as much, and everybody has a phone, whether it's an iPhone or Android, and they consume news so much more digitally than ever before. Even since digital became a thing, it is only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So these places, whether it's ABC, NBC, CBS, where folks pretty much had to go to you, but because they had to go to you, they would always see that face that they trusted, whether it was Peter Jennings, Sam Donaldson, Barbara Walters, Lester Holt, You think of those iconic folks on your screen, and you felt like when they gave you the news, it was trustworthy, it was reliable, it was sourced well. You did not really ever question it. There was no fake news about them, even though you knew that depending on uh, uh, which station it was, there may be a certain lean, some lean left, some lean right, some were more centered. You knew that, but you knew that they were still giving you the news, even if you could hear a hint of lean in it. And that has changed astronomically. A lot more things are streaming, and the politicians too, Jermaine. It kind of reflects them too. A lot of the older ones still believe in releasing statements and and things like that on places where like nobody's reading shit, like, but they don't go on to the podcasts that are where a lot of their voters would go and constituents would go. That's why you see folks like a Jasmine Crockett, who I absolutely love because she just loves just being herself, all country and all. Or you see a AOC, or you see Maxwell Frost, or you see Jamie Raskin. Even with some of the Republicans, you'll see other Republicans out there embracing those other platforms where their constituents are, and they do well. The older ones have not adapted to that. And then when you mention AI, that's going to be another thing that's going to be hard for a lot of folks to adapt to that are not already starting to play in the field of it. I'll admit I've been slow to AI myself, but just last week I started using AI for my day job, and I was telling somebody, I said, "Damn, I said what I sat there and asked Copilot to do would have taken me a whole lot longer had I just sat there and did those searches myself one by one. Copilot put it all in one concise response to me, provided me links to then go on for deeper dives and stuff. And now, again, the thing with AI right now is AI is learning, so you have to be very specific, or it'll tell you too much. So I drilled down. I was doing events for a particular hotel, and I just said, "Hey, Copilot, I need to know all of the events going on in the month of August 2025 for the Philadelphia market within 3.5 miles of the Red Roof Inn, Philadelphia." Within a second, I mean, and I'm like, and it provided me the links, and I'm like, shit. So all of those things are going to be influenced by AI. Our positions at our corporate office are being influenced by AI. Our way of managing hotel rates and things like that are going to have some AI influence as we use predictive software to be able to tell us and help us forecast better, and to be able to then go in and start adjusting rates in real time. So even while I'm sleeping, the revenue management system that has a lot of AI power is still up and running even at 2 o'clock in the morning. If it sees a change needs to be made at 2 o'clock in the morning, it does it. It'll let me know what it did, but it's still going to go ahead and do it based on the parameters that we put in place for it. So AI is definitely going to be changing things. That's going to be up and coming thing. Social media, independent media is changing the platform of things because so many things are streaming, digital. Less and less people have cable. We talked about that as me and Lori have finally said goodbye to Spectrum, and we let that cable go. Everything other than the internet, and I just got my first post cable bill, and it's like yes. It's under $100. I'm sitting there like doing a dance. I'm like, I'm here for that. But it's really, really, really good. So I will move on to the next subject. But Virgil popped in with a question. Most homes in the UK don't have AC but use fans. I know it's not as hot here as in certain states. I have experienced it in cars and hotels abroad. Do you guys have it? AC? You damn right we do. Well, most of us do have AC. AC is an option. It is standard in most houses to have AC, Virgil. Even though older houses still use uh, window fans, window AC units, um, or may have a combination of of the two. In certain houses where maybe they can't get as much circulation upstairs, for instance, maybe they have a loft area and they need a ceiling fan or a small window unit to help push a little bit more air conditioning there. Cars definitely have it, and I definitely take advantage of it every chance that I get. But yeah, we definitely have AC. How about you, Jermaine? You loving your AC right now?
AC in my truck, AC in my car. In fact, it's part of the reason I hadn't ridden my motorcycle so much. It's just been too hot.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? When you ride on a piece of metal between your legs, man, that is some serious heat. And when you stop at the stoplight and it's just beaming down on you, the sun is beaming on top, the bike is hot underneath you. Yeah, that can be a lot. Now you might look good. People be like, "Oh, look at him on that bike. He look good." And the whole time he's sitting there thinking, "Man, I wish I could be in that car with you." You think it's fun sitting on this bike, but I'd rather be sitting in that back seat of that car sucking up that AC right now. So,
Yeah. What's next, big brother?
well, I wanted to talk about man, so many things have been going on. We took about 3 weeks off, and I already knew that just because we take 3 weeks off, the country don't, and events don't. So there's been a lot of things that have been going on, and we could tackle them one by one. I wanted to briefly go over the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which the first Friday of every month comes out with their labor statistics about the unemployment rate, how many jobs were added, all those types of things. This has been something that has been going on forever. Also, what happens is because the labor report comes out on the first Friday, a lot of times that previous month's statistics may be somewhat incomplete, but they're giving you the most complete numbers that they have at that time. So, for instance, this past labor uh, uh, report for July came out on August the 1st. Now, there's times when the way the month ends, if Thursday wasn't the last day of the month, then the report may come out the following Friday. But it just so happened that it ended on Thursday. The report came out Friday the 1st. And a lot of times later on, as we will get with this one that just came out, you get what you call revisions, some revisions to previous months, because all of the reporting that is due does not always come out on time. And the Bureau of Labor Statistics will go back and true up the numbers and do revisions. Most of
It
the
just,
time,
it
yeah,
just so people understand, because you're being very long-winded about it, so they understand is that the bureau sends out surveys to companies, and they ask them to respond with their job numbers and stuff, and they have a deadline so they can meet their first report. Sometimes, like a lot of people, they don't answer back in time, so that's why they're revisions. It's not because they're going back and handpicking stuff. It's that the surveys that they put out to either individuals, like I'm sure everybody has gotten a call saying, "Hey, we're doing a survey for whatever politics, whatever stuff." The Labor Bureau does the same thing. Are you employed? Blah blah. Have you got a job? They do that, and they do that for thousands of businesses. And so everybody doesn't report at the same time, so they do revisions. There you go. Take it away.
oh, no, thank you. Thank you. Very, very concise. So the revisions came back out for previous months in May and June, and they were not very favorable. There was a downward revision, I think, of over 270,000 jobs. The July numbers did not look very good either as far as job growth. Um, and a lot of that came from the federal sector. Well, what's been happening in the federal sector? Been laying off different entities, whether it's people getting jobs lost at the Department of Education, FBI, um, uh, uh, Center of Disease Control. All these different job layoffs add to a reduction of the workforce. Um, but anyway, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, nobody even probably knows who the hell the commissioner was. The commissioner is just over the department, but they have analysts and other people that aggregate all these numbers. Um, and for so long, when the numbers look good, Trump was more than happy to sit there and take credit for those numbers. We're doing well. This is a bounce back. Da 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 da. Da. Same commissioner been in place the whole time, even under Joe Biden. Was approved by the Senate overwhelmingly. You had 86, I believe, senators approve this person's passage. Um, you can't get 86 senators to barely approve anything. I don't know if you could get them to agree that the sun uh, comes out during the day and the moon comes out at night. I don't know if you can get 86 of them to say that. Some of them will tell you that Jewish space lasers make that happen. So, who knows? But the fact that she was overwhelmingly approved, Trump didn't like the numbers. So he just decided, well, you're fired. Because what he has been trying to sell the public has been, it would be in contrast to what the labor numbers were saying. He's talking about more jobs have been created, inflation is totally gone. We're collecting billions and billions of dollars in tariffs, which that is true. But we can talk about that in a second too. But he decided to fire her, and he was going to bring in his own people so we can trust the numbers. It's the same thing as about the whole election integrity. We just want the elections to be fair. But the only reason people are questioning the integrity of the elections is because you're casting aspersions and doubt on it. Well, now the reason that people are going to have a hard time trusting the labor numbers is because you're casting aspersions and doubt on it because it's not lining up with the narrative you want to provide. And now even folks are saying, well, now we know what's going to cause us not to believe that whoever you decide you want to put in place isn't just putting out numbers that you will find favorable, because they know that if they don't, you've already made the blueprint that if you do that, you ain't gonna have no job here, even though your job is supposed to have certain terms to it so that it crosses over administrations, kind of the same way as the Fed does. The Fed is more protected than some of these other term jobs. Which is why he's having a hard time being able to get rid of Jerome Powell. But some of the other ones that are terms, like he got rid of the lady over the Smithsonian, and some of these other positions that are terms, he can let them go, and they could try to sue. They're not going to win. The Fed would be the hardest one for him to try to do, which is why he hasn't done it and won't do it. He did the same thing with Chris Wray with the FBI. Chris Wray had a term. Chris Wray voluntarily left because he knew he was getting pressure from Trump to leave. And he was just going to make his life live in hell. He could have stayed, and Trump would have had a hard time trying to get rid of him. He would have had to show cause, which would have been crazy because he's the one that nominated. But anyway, so that's what's going on with the Bureau of Labor Statistics. He just came out with a nominee the other day, on Monday, EJ Antoni, who was a economist with the Heritage Foundation. He does have to get Senate confirmed, but because of the makeup of the Senate right now, all they need is 50 votes or 51 to be able to pass it. And I don't foresee any Republican senator pushing back. And even if you get the two that normally push back to provide cover so they can go back to their constituents and say, see, I don't always agree with Trump, they won't need their votes anyway. So that's why Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski vote the way that they do, because their party gives them cover to be able to vote that way. Because even if it comes down to 50, then Maybelline,
JD.
Maybelline JD. Lori, you don't sell Mary Kay to JD Vance, do you?
Not that eyeliner, because it's bad.
Okay. Well, it's not as bad as Sarah Huckabee Sanders' smoky eye, but I digress.
Ooh,
But
that's another one.
I think I can do smoky eye a little bit better. But
Well,
anyway,
no, there's too many videos showing you how to do a smoky eye, or at least how to line it correctly. And whoever does
listen, the fact
his
that I know what the hell,
eyeliner is
the
horrible.
fact that I know what the hell a smoky eye is should be crazy to begin with anyway. So I digress.
Well, that
I
adds
don't
well that adds to your youngness because you don't have an age.
no, not smoky eye. I don't, I don't do that. But anyway, but to each their own, if you're a dude and you like smoky eye, then have at it. But anyway, but JD Vance obviously does. So all they would need is 50 Republicans in the Senate, and then JD would come in and be the tiebreaker as president of the Senate. So sooner than later, once they do reconvene, we do expect EJ and Tony to become the next commissioner of the BLS. A job that is supposed to be very obscure. Nobody should know these people's names because they're just public servants, go in and do their job. And it's a very thankless job a lot of times. They just keep their head down, they do their
Well,
jobs, and
the
Trump is
the
put in
doesn't even
position.
he doesn't even compile the numbers, and he doesn't influence the numbers at all. He just runs. It really, like a lot of CEOs and stuff. I don't actually get out there and make fries. I'm back here doing invoices and stocks and reorder and stuff. So he's on the employment management side of things. He's not on the actual number side of things.
Right,
It's just a clear signal to the bureau itself. Not if we'll take out your boss, we can take you out too, and
right.
we're gonna take a Sharpie to these hurricanes. I mean these numbers, and it's gonna be what it is. I think the overall thing that you look at with all this, there's a couple things. There's reality versus Trump math. I know he keeps saying that these things are happening, like he says, look, groceries are down. If you go pay for groceries, like most people do, even though he invented the word, you can tell that groceries are not down. That's the crazy part for me when it comes to people that support him. When he says, "Well, gas prices are down," they go, "Yeah, they're down." No, they're not. You just pay for gas. It's the same you're paying for or more. It's not down. It's not, and nowhere near the levels that he says they're down. Trump's just bad with math completely, and we'll talk about that as we get to the other stuff too, where he just makes up. Well, he's a liar, right? And so one of the things that my brother brought up was the whole thing about how can we believe your numbers are better than the numbers that we saw before. This is a man that cheats on his spouses. He cheats in his business dealings. He cheats at golf. He's tried to cheat in the election. Why would you believe that he's going to give you any good information coming out of his administration? Um,
Right.
and so there's that believability part. It's also like say why are the numbers so bad? And my brother said, he said tariffs just we're collecting all this money in tariffs. Here's the problem with the tariffs that the economist said when he started this. Even if you do get a company that's going to eat the cost of the tariff, it's going to the money is not like I try to tell my daughters it's back to school time. They started school yesterday. Daddy, we need to go school shopping. We need supplies and we need clothes and we need this. Hey, look, we got a budget and stuff. Well, hey, look, this money, I only have a finite amount of money, right? I can't just make it up out of thin air. And so, same thing with these companies. They can't make up money out of thin air. If they're eating the cost over here, not to pass on to the consumer, then it means they're not advertising more jobs. They're not growing business and stuff. This is what we're seeing the constriction of the economy because of these tariffs and stuff. Not only are they killing some companies and putting them out of business, job loss, but the companies that can stay in business are now either they have to pass the buck on the consumer, which means products are going up. So all that number stuff about stuff coming down isn't true because of that. And even if they are keeping it the same, they can't grow because of that. And because everything's so unsteady and stuff, that you don't grow, you don't advertise new jobs and markets and stuff when you're not sure about the toddler in charge and what he's going to do with his economic policy day to day or hour to hour.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And I was just looking up because, again, he's not wrong in that. Have we collected a lot in tariffs? Fiscal year ending June 2025, we collected $108 billion in total duties from customs. Out of that, in June alone, $28 billion was collected in tariffs. Now, that's 94% higher than the previous year. But to what Jermaine is saying, some of the companies are eating the tariffs, but it is still the companies on the U.S. side eating the tariffs. It is not China. It is not Brazil. It is not Germany that are paying the tariffs. We have no way of going into their treasury department and taking money out of their treasury. That should be common sense. And Jermaine, let me throw this other thing to you before I go back to the tariffs.
All right.
Oh, when
Okay.
about somebody that makes up numbers. This was the same person that just recently said that he was going to cut cost of pharmaceuticals by not just 50%, but 100%, 200%, 1,500%. You can't cut something by 1,500%. They would be
So
paying you to buy it.
this is the same thing that we got into with his first term, where he says absolutely batshit crazy stuff, and then people go, "Well, he didn't. That's not what he meant. It's the spirit of it, right?" He speaks in hyperbole, and no, he said that. But it's the same thing.
Yeah,
Obviously, for people who can't do math, if you cut something by 100%, it's $0. So
right.
anything more than 100% means that they're going to pay you to take medicine.
So
So
15%. Please make
how do
my
you,
insulin. Please make my insulin 1,500% off. I would appreciate
yeah,
it.
1,500% off means that I'm not even going to do the math, but
That
I
means
mean,
Eli
you
Lilly
get
is probably paying me about $1,000 every time I get some injection pens.
Yeah,
I'm,
I mean
I'm here.
that's crazy. It doesn't make any sense, and and so when I say he's bad at math, it's all of it, all his numbers and stuff, to include
Yes.
it. And not trying to, but so all this stuff's connected, and you segue into what's going on in D.C. with him talking about the crime rates, not just in D.C., but they're bringing up other major cities too, because they're Democratic strongholds, and he wants to put a foothold
Right.
in those places and stuff. But what's he based it on? He's based it on these made up numbers,
Right. Right.
and we know he makes up numbers. The thing again that befuddles me, and I only get befuddled like 2 or 3 times a year. But the thing that befuddles me about this is that there are Republicans who are just nodding their heads. That's why I said that's when people say you're in a cult. This is why, because there are
Right.
obvious lies that this man is telling. And the first thing, well, everybody, all politicians lie. Okay, that's like saying all Catholic priests touch little boys, so it's okay. It's not okay. You need to leave that church and leave
Right.
this dude alone.
And,
Speaking of
and
pedophiles,
well, yeah, but he's obviously just stupid. The Congress folks don't have that excuse. Many of them went to top Ivy League universities, where
hmm,
they're, now you may find some there are some
according to Trump, if they went to Harvard, they had to teach them they don't know what 2 plus 2 is. They had to do remedial math. What's that
right.
about?
I've never heard of that before till you brought that up. I'm just like, you just make up anything. Harvard
Anything.
is Harvard is teaching remedial math.
So I'm
Bro,
not saying that I'm not.
you went to Wharton and you won't even release your school records, please. And I don't even know if you really went to Wharton, honestly. I mean, like actually went. Like you might have been enrolled, but did you really go? So anyway, which is probably why he doesn't want his school records released because of that or because of the grades that he got. But either way, for him to
I'm,
then be sent,
I'm sure he paid somebody to take his classes for him.
that's what I'm
Uh,
saying. Was he
uh,
really there?
hey, look, man. If you know, like I know, especially talk about technology and stuff, and a lot of people getting online degrees. Everybody at your job that got a degree didn't do the work to get the degree. They might
Amen.
have just paid somebody else to write those papers and take those tests for them. I mean, just straight up, I don't think it's a industry secret that I mean, you go to work and see that your boss is dumb. He didn't just get dumb; he
Right.
been
He
dumb.
been dumb the whole time. Sometimes it really is who you know,
It
and
is who you know.
that's how you get it done. The button up the tariff thing though. So we have been collecting a lot of revenue in tariffs, but it is coming on the backs of companies for now trying to prevent price increases. But now there were even a bunch of Congress folks on some of the Sunday shows. One of them admitted, yeah, it's going to be a cost increase, but we needed to do that for right now. It's temporary or whatever it is. It's like, well, that's a long way from saying there weren't going to be any at all for you now to be saying that they will be. So they do keep backtracking and retracting and things like that in certain instances too. It's like, well, wait a minute, that ain't what y'all told people. You told people that the companies were going to eat. Not only would companies eat the cost, but you said the foreign countries that were sending the goods would be eating the cost.
Well, I
Which,
mean, when you're talking to a cult, though, you can say anything, and it's only when the savages start raising up their tiki torches towards you that you go, "Hey, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait. What we say." And so,
hmm
yeah, they're going to backtrack only when their base, is upset about the product they're putting out. Because again, like when we talk, it's one of those things. I think we talked about it here on this show. When we talk about social programs like Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, all those kind of things, SNAP,
yeah, yep,
majority, you can look at percentages all you want. Look at actual numbers of who's getting that aid. It's white people.
white people.
It's and so and I don't say that in a bad way. I say that in a numbers way because there's more white people in the country than there are black and brown people. We don't ever just qualify for stuff, and no program has ever just been created just for us.
Right.
Think of a monetary program that was created by the federal government for the benefit of African Americans. Now, I know a lot of people say out there, well, that's what food stamps. No, that was for us.
Mm-mm.
That was not for
Mm-mm.
us. Don't you and your rabbit mind think that was for us. Don't you know?
That's
And
true.
so
That's,
any of those kind of networks and stuff were just things that we just happen to benefit from. Um,
yeah.
and so, and my point to all this is it's hurting his actual core base of people. We talked about a couple months ago. I think it was Nebraska and a lot of the Midwestern states in terms of ICE deporting people. Well, now workers aren't showing up, and farmers are like, "Well, we got to plant our crop and do all this stuff by ourselves because and you know, because they're taking workers away."
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't understand because evidently those workers were taking white jobs. I don't understand why white people just didn't fill in. Or maybe those
So,
were black jobs.
so Jermaine, you say
Yeah.
that, and I saw this guy being interviewed on CNN yesterday, and it's not the first time I've heard this, but every time I hear it, I get mad. I get I get more mad than I should because they interviewed a guy, got detained by Trump. Uh, he is a resident, I mean, legal resident, but because of his skin color, he was detained. Um, and he said something to the fact of, and other people have said the same thing. I can't believe they did this. Trump said that he was going after the criminals. I'm a U.S. citizen. He tricked us. The guy yesterday said we were brainwashed, and I just about lost my shit on that one because he said like the man has shown you that he lies about everything.
So one of the things that we don't account for in a lot of this is that um, the sounding board or the think tank that these people are, especially we talk again, we go back to AI and technology and stuff. And if you don't know, there's an algorithm that says if you watch something for this amount of seconds, if you put a like on this thing, if you search for this category and stuff, we're going to feed you more of the same. And
Right.
so a lot of those people, while we can sit here and say, well, had you been watching the show? Well, they didn't watch the show. The
Because
algorithm
the
doesn't
algorithm
push.
was right.
Yeah, because the algorithm says that you're not going to consume this, and we
Right.
need you to consume it long enough for us to push ads to you and make revenue. It's a money thing, right? And
Right.
so they're going to keep pushing stuff to them to keep them engaged on their devices. Check and make sure that they can get some ads in there and make money. And so a lot of those people, especially those people, did not hear us talking about, hey, the man cheats. Like, just he cheats on everything, right? He's done this, he's done this, he's done this. There are people who never heard the tape, the grabbing by the pussy tape.
Mm-hmm.
It was Access Hollywood.
Access Hollywood, yeah.
They never heard that. They never
Okay.
heard the Howard Stern. They never heard this Howard Stern interview where he talks about going back and creeping on the contestants of his beauty pageant, and he's allowed to do it because he's doing an inspection, so I get away with it and stuff. And there's young girls back there and stuff, basically being a pedo.
Is everyone okay? Yeah.
Yeah, being a pedo, admitting to being a pedo. Not to mention talking about young girls. When you get to be 18, I'll be dating her and stuff. Who says that about a child?
Now, who says that about your own daughter?
And I was going to bring that up too. I mean, there's a lot of red flags out there, but because these people were not in that
talking about her legs and her breasts.
Yeah, because these people were not in that echo chamber and stuff, a lot of them were fed this Donald Trump, I will vote for Donald Trump, and that's all they got, right? And I'm not gonna lie to you, man. When I see videos like that, I don't get upset. I laugh like hell. I think to myself, I wish they had deported you. I wish that you were in a prison right now in Guatemala trying to prove, because the whole thing, like we talked about, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere kind of thing. If you take away people's rights to defend themselves, the offer of evidence and stuff, you're taking away their rights. Well, they're here illegally. Well, they could do that to you if you left your wallet at home, or if you even had to. So I got a wallet, I got a driver's license. Okay, it's a fake license. ISIS is fake, and now you're on an airplane and you're in prison.
They finally released him. He gave them his ID to show them that he was a citizen. They released him, but they didn't give him his ID back, which is crazy. So, but I guess I get mad because, and you're right. I know what you're saying is fundamentally true, that the ecosystem that a lot of people exist in prevents them from being able to get the same kind of balanced information that a lot of us get. I guess my thinking a lot of times is, when I listen to some of the dumb shit that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth, regardless of the ecosystem I'm in, I can easily disseminate between what sounds like bullshit.
But remember, again, it's one of the things that we talk about. Racism is a taught behavior. And you talk about, well, I can see through that bullshit. How can other people not see that bullshit? There are people still in Alabama and Mississippi in the swamps and stuff who think they're better than black people. They ain't got no teeth. They ain't got no education. They ain't got no money. They bad body built, hillbilly.
Butch body.
And so, but they, in their heart of hearts, think they are a superior race.
Oh yeah,
they believe that. Why do they believe that? Because grandpa believed it. My uncles believed it. My grandma believed it. My daddy taught me that. I was raised up in that. And what Trump did was, he found something. He has weaponized that hate and that disdain. That's why it was so easy to, let's build a wall. They're all criminals. They're rapists. They're coming. It's like, I always talk about Birth of a Nation, the film that was filmed back in the 1920s, that really set the tone politically for the post-slavery era, going into Jim Crow and segregation, and it depicted brown people as animals, and they wanted to rape white women. And Keith, you want to rape white men, but they rape white women, and yeah, but whatever. He watches lock your doors. But we were animals and stuff, and we were killers and rapists and stuff. And again, this leads back into what's going on in DC. It's the same thing. If you look back at, like, in a court franchise, America is still a racist country. And I know that they're using the same talking points that they used then, they're using them now.
Yes,
Creating this. And so the thing that you have to understand that I did want to talk about, and I'll get it out real quick, the danger that we're in right now, it is immediate danger, is that the whole thing in DC is just a test bed for resistance. How far can I
go into it?
And so if I could do it here, and so the government is allowed to break laws for emergencies. And as long as you allow them to do that, they'll keep creating emergencies. That's what they're doing right now. I'm going to
Yes.
create an emergency. Therefore, I'm going to supersede the law and I'm going to do these things. I'm telling you, the end goal of this is the suspension of elections.
Yep.
It's a suspension of local law enforcement unless
Yep.
they're cooperating with federal and following the rule. They're going to have, and he's going to deploy the military. He's going to have ICE agents. He's going to have FBI. He's going to have all federal agencies out there mobilized, and your freedom of travel is going to be restricted. Your vote is going to be restricted. Your media. And so all the stuff we're talking about earlier, whether it's Stephen Colbert, with established
Mm-hmm.
media, all that stuff, the first thing you want to do is that you want to choke out the information for people and make them blind. It's the
Correct.
same thing if you were going to take out a country. One of the first things that you want to do is put up some jamming and stuff so they can't communicate and they can't organize. And that's a big thing. One of the problems that we have in this country is that, and you hit on it on the head when we talk about how politicians are still putting flyers up at the supermarket trying to get the word out instead of using the technology of the day. One of the things that helped the Americas in the Revolution was that they decided that standing up across the field from each other and shooting each other was a losing battle for them. So they changed tactics. They went to guerrilla tactics that worked a lot better for them to be the overwhelming force. These ideas are very unpopular and stuff, but the Republicans under Trump have gone back to their guerrilla tactics and stuff. The Democrats are still lining up on the field of battle because that's the honorable way to fight. And only cowards fight the way that they're fighting and stuff, and they're going to lose before they can fight back, before they can stop all this madness. Because and the reason that we love like a Jasmine Crockett or an AOC is that they're using the same tone and same tactics. A Gavin Newsom who says if you're going to rig Texas, we'll rig California to negate everything that you're doing. New York's like, oh, we can do the same thing. In fact, we can flip this thing and reverse it, and we can make sure that we cut out everybody. And if you want to play that game, if everybody's not on that boat of this is how the game is played now, that whole thing with Chuck Schumer, I sent him a letter, strongly worded letter and stuff, and told us,
Chuck.
that stuff is going to get people killed.
Yes.
Because I'm telling you what the end game is.
Facts.
In fact, my warning for tonight is anybody can listen and stuff. If you got your passport, go ahead and start making your things. Because by 2027, it's going to be game over. He's got the Supreme Court. He's got Congress. He's trying to rig elections midterm so he doesn't lose that power. He is now moving in with his federal stuff. He's trying to choke off the media and stuff. And it's so crazy to me because a lot of white people say for you, the Democrats are banana republic. Y'all have a convicted felon as your who's talking about crime. The irony of this is not lost on me.
You want to get crime out of Washington? You're a damn felon.
You're a felon.
You would be the first one to go.
The press secretary is standing between him and the Secretary of Defense, who's been credibly accused of sexual assault, and then the 34-time felon who's also been accused of sexual assault and who's probably a pedophile, talking about criminals.
Yeah. So, Jermaine, I want to jump in because I got to cook a little bit because you done brought so many groceries onto the table, and I'm gonna weave all this together because to what you're.
You want to do a weave?
I'm gonna do the weave. I'm gonna start here, and then I'm gonna go a little bit here. But then at the end, I'm going to come right back to where it started. It's so precise, and not everybody could do it like me. Anyway, but all of this is so freaking intertwined, and you brought it up from the fact of choking out the media, choking out the dissent, choking out the communications and stuff like that, getting them under your wing where they're only going to put out your propaganda. A lot of these places exist because of the propaganda. I brought up the thing about the guy that made me mad about the being detained by ICE and all of that for a couple of reasons. Number one, what he's also doing is he's normalizing the detention of people on the streets by masked people. They're making it normal that when you see people on the street in mask with something that says border control or nothing at all, that it's okay. The other thing that's happening is when you when I said, hey, these people feel brainwashed and stuff, he only needed y'all to get him elected this time. He's not worried about whether you wouldn't vote for him again because it won't matter if he gets to do what he wants to do. Their votes won't matter. So he used them to get it this time. Same thing with the Venezuelans for Trump, the Cubans for Trump, all these people for Trump. He used you to get the power this time. He's not going to worry about the next election cycle because he's going to do things between now and then to give him the opportunity where he'll never have to worry about another free and fair election again. Which then ties into the thing with DC, like Jermaine said, this is ground zero for the game plan of militarization of our cities that he feels like would push back on his policies and everything that he wants to do. He ain't gonna do this in Montgomery. He ain't gonna do this in Des Moines, Iowa. He ain't gonna do this in Montana and South Dakota. He's already said, I'm going to LA, I'm going to Detroit, I'm going to Chicago, I'm going to Philadelphia. I'm going to New York. There's a reason for that. Like Jermaine said, it's obvious what he's doing. But if he can get away, and all he has to do, like you said, he called it an emergency, and that gives him a certain shield. Now, DC was the easiest one to start with because they are not a state. They do not have a governor, where normally you have to go through a little bit more red tape to be able to get the local ordinances to sign off on a lot of this stuff. Not only, Jermaine, does he sending the National Guard in, but actually basically taking over the entire police force from the mayor.
So to just historically again, so it's for context, one of the things that American colonists didn't want was a full-time army. And the
Right.
reason they didn't want that because they didn't want their government to have the ability to oppress them. So that's actually where guard units and came from, National Guard. Every state had one. That's why you said, why do governors have their own military? It's because of that old bullshit. And so they had to have their own military within state, but they couldn't be that they could allot for some full-time people in there because they had to have continuity. Everybody just couldn't show up not knowing what's going on off the farm and stuff. There had to be some continuity. But for the majority of and that was where the blueprint for the National Guard came from. That's why the National Guard is an entity supersedes a lot of formal branches, Army, Navy, whatever. What they found is that later on it was easier to have having to call people up and get them trained and ready to go and fight was not cost effective, and it wasn't efficient in terms of having a well-maintained military. That's how we got to a full-time military. The compromise for that, because coming from the Queen and being oppressed and stuff, the thing that they didn't want for the government was them to have the ability to come in. That's why the federal government can't do military operations in the United States.
Right.
That's where it comes from. Again, just context for why these things are going on and why they're difficult. So when my brother brings up DC, that's not a state, it kind of falls into that gray area. Now, of course, a lot of people are bringing up the hypocrisy of him saying that he could do that now, but on January 6th, when there was actual emergency and stuff, he denied that he had the power to do it all.
It was Nancy Pelosi.
It was Nancy Pelosi was the only one that could do it. But now that he wants to take over, now he has the power that he denied having. Maybe he just, no one told him in those couple hours when people were trying to kill police.
Right.
But so there are, in order for the federal government, so again, for the federal government to come into a state without the governor's permission and to do policing. Now, even when they do disaster relief, we say, hey, they called up when there's like disasters in your state and they say they called up the National Guard. That's why they call it the National Guard, even though you may have an active duty military base in your state, because a lot of times when they mobilize the Guard, they have to do domestic police. And federal agents aren't allowed to do that, or the federal military aren't allowed to do that. Federal agents can do it, like FBI, CIA. Obviously, they can do it. But again, cooperation and jurisdiction. What's your jurisdiction here? And it gets into the piss contest of superseding jurisdictions, and federal and state, and between local stuff. But what he's doing in DC is saying that they don't have a governor. I don't have the same restrictions there, and this is the test bed. And if I could do it here, and that was part of the thing about trying to deploy him out in California.
Yep.
That was a test too. He's openly showing you his hand, and that's why, like I say, it's a. You talk about big red flags. This whole thing is a huge red flag about what he can. And last thing, and I'll let you jump back in. If we're talking about crime stuff, most of the high rate crime is in red states.
Exactly. Per capita, that's absolutely right.
It's in red states. And so, he, like my brother said, but they're not going to send anybody to Arkansas.
Well, it's funny that you say that, Jermaine, because I happen to have the crime stats in DC as recently as 2 days ago. Overall crime in DC is down 7%. Violent crime is down 26%. Robbery is down 28%. Assault with a dangerous weapon down 20%. Sex abuse is down 50%. The only thing that is drastically up, which is, if you call it that, is arson, up 33%. And the difference is 3 last year, 4 this year. So relatively speaking, very much down, but overall property crime down 4%. So all of these numbers, but then because the numbers do not support the narrative, now Muriel Bowser had somebody report false numbers, which has never been an allegation before. He needed it to fit his narrative, which is crazy.
And which goes back to my whole he's not good with numbers on purpose. Because the numbers don't.
The crazy part is, Jermaine, earlier this year, he said the crime numbers in DC were down because he was trying to take credit for it, saying because he was back in town, the numbers had gone down. But then he'll turn right back around and say, no, they're way up. It's out of control. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Which one is it? The answer is both. For him, it depends on when you ask and what I need the answer to be.
Yeah.
Every answer is reconstructed, or everything that supports the answer is reconstructed to support the answer. So that's just the idea of it. But the numbers don't lie. But he knew that he couldn't call it an emergency and it would hold up in court, which will still be hard because now what happens is this is supposed to be, if it's an emergency, it's a 48-hour thing. The most that he can extend it to is 30 days. What he's talking about already is, oh no, I want this long term. Well, the only way that he could legally do that without Congress, and he can get Congress to do this. Congress, after the 30 days, kind of like war acts and stuff, has to approve something for a longer term. So, but he has enough, and he already said it. He says, well, I probably won't get one Democrat to vote on it, but I have enough in the House to go ahead and push this through. And he's right. He does, as long as no more than 2 or 3 of them push back against this. So again, Thomas Massey having his protected vote, Rand Paul having his protected vote, still gets them into a place where they can still pass it, even if they have 2 dissenters, because they have a 3-seat majority. So he's not wrong. They're going to back him up. They're not going to go against him on this at all. And then lastly, Jermaine, this weaves into the fact too that we are also talking about not only what's going on in DC, but then Trump's power play to call up Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, and say, hey, I need 5 more seats, because he sees the writing on the wall that if he can't get everything done before midterms, which would be hard to do because some things are going to be slowed down by litigation. He knows that he's going to need some continuity of Congress into the second half of his term, or he's going to be a lame duck president, or he's going to be facing impeachment from the House. He knows that that's coming. So he's trying to insulate and protect himself. So he tells Greg Abbott, hey, I need 5 more seats. So he is trying to get Greg Abbott to do a mid-cycle gerrymandering redistricting of maps that redistricting of maps normally coincide with the U.S.
Census.
Census done every 10 years, so that people can really see if the demographics have shifted. Is there a need to redistrict maps? It is a fair balancing tool, but it's supposed to be done when you're looking at the data from the census. But there hadn't been a new census. So he's gotten the Texas Republicans to agree, okay, we're going to write this map so that we can squeeze out 5 more seats, basically putting Democrat districts against each other, where they would basically be getting rid of like people like Al Green, and some other Congress people down there in those Texas districts, because their districts would be going away, and turning into more Republican friendly seats. And to your point, and the issue that I have, Jermaine, you're right. Democrats wait too long to do anything. They keep trying to figure out, if we just be the guiding light, if we simply just show Republicans the way, if we show them the civility, then they will eventually see that and
They're
come
going to
to
return to it.
yeah, they're going to return to it.
So I'm of two minds on that. I think that there are some that are that way, and then I think as a party, they are. So I've said this before. I actually believe it's just one party, and this is WWE stuff, and this is the NWA, and now Hulk's a villain, and and he was a villain.
He did lean into being a villain.
Yeah, rest in hell, Hulk Hogan, brother.
These views do express written consent of Empower TV Network.
Yeah, rest in hell, brother. But and I think Congress is the same way. It's just performative. I think they're Democrats. I think they're Democrats are like, oh, we don't know what to do. Like, yes, you do. You do know what to do, and you could do something. But you're in the pocket of big pharma. You're in the pocket of big tech. You're in the pocket of oil. You're in the pocket of whoever it is. And you're all playing this game. And just like the Republicans who have their votes covered, you're doing the same thing, knowing that you can vote freely against stuff because it'll never pass. Because again, you can't sit there and tell me that when Democrats are in power, they're like, hey, this minority is holding up our agenda. We can't get anything done. And then when they're the minority, there's no way we can stop their agenda.
We're in the minority.
We're the minority. Well, can't you just do the same? Can't you just do the same thing they were doing? Or are you just telling me that what they were doing wasn't holding up your agenda? And so that's why the Democratic Party to me, and again, I've advocated for a third party. This two-party system isn't working because we're being played with it. There has to be a disruption. So again, insanity, doing the same thing over and over again. If you believe vote for Democrats and Republicans is going to help save this country and move forward and stuff, it's not. The whole political system has to change.
Amen.
There has to be new players in there. There has to be a redistribution of power, sort of like the Supreme Court. Hey, we just need more justices. Well, it's not always been this number of justices. The court's been expanded at least 2 times, if not 3 times, to get to where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea that expansion of the court now would somehow be against the rules, it's not. Is this country historically racist? There are other historical things in this country that have been proven and stuff. And don't get me wrong. There are a lot of good laws out there, but a lot of those laws were earned and fought for with blood, sweat, and tears. And right now, people are, again, back to our algorithm and our devices, are being distracted. And, we're on the show. We're trying to help you connect the pieces because all this stuff's connected. Telling you, from the tariffs to the media, to the deportations and dehumanizing of people and setting a standard. They don't just build concentration camps because that's what they are. Alligator Alcatraz is not the name that you give to a retirement facility. They don't build concentration camps and don't expect to put motherfuckers in there.
Right.
It's not just going to be them. Right now they'll even tell you they're not meeting their own goals. Stephen Miller has a
3,000 a day.
So I think Obama deported like 500,000 people one year. He's still the deporter in chief.
Mm-hmm.
Their goal is to do 1 million. And so they had to beat the 3,000 a day. But there's not that many criminals in it. Even though they keep saying there's caravans and they're all criminals and stuff, I got to tell you, if you got to go to IRS records to find these people, it's not because they're not paying their fair share of taxes.
7-Eleven and Home Depot to find them, because we know that
It's
MS
it's not because if you got to find them at work, it's not because they're not working. If you got to go to courts to get them, it's not because they're not trying to do it the right way.
right.
And if you're doing this because there's a 34-time convicted felon that's saying it, it's not about the rule of law. The intent is misery. The intent is distraction, and the intent is to lock any dissenters up.
Yes.
And that's all they need. And when they want to take away due process and stuff from people, is because they want to do evil shit.
Right. And because I don't think, before I jump back on the Texas thing, I don't think when they accidentally apprehend an American, that is really that much of an accident. They want to be able to prove that they can just disappear America.
Disappear people. Yeah, absolutely. Look,
regardless of your status.
There's not a law that says that police can't wear face coverings. The reason that we ask law enforcement to identify themselves is so that we understand who we're talking to, and then we can subject ourselves to whatever authority they may have in that situation.
Right.
That's it. I know a lot of y'all watch YouTube and stuff, and you see these police videos and stuff, and you're like, I'll stand my ground. I'm not going to roll down my window. I'm not going to give my ID and stuff. Hey, man, get the ticket, argue stuff later, and stop watching YouTube and shit. That should get you shot or thrown in jail over what could have been a $50 ticket. There are a lot of good people in law.
This is my saying. You can stand on principle, or you can lay in the morgue.
It's not to the extreme, absolutely to the extreme. But I'll tell you right now. Now, if you're in Charlotte, North Carolina, now this is just for people in Charlotte, North Carolina. I can't tell you for anybody else. Charlotte, North Carolina, the CMPD does not want to take you to jail. They don't. They don't want to take you down there.
Right.
There's a couple reasons for that.
You got to earn it.
You got to earn it. If you get arrested in Charlotte, you earned you a ticket because our DA. It's not really the police department, but our DA does not like to prosecute lower level crimes and stuff. So if it's marijuana, if it's speeding, if it's whatever and stuff, the judges and stuff around here are not. It's in the time it takes for somebody to arrest you, do the paperwork, get you into booking and stuff. It's hours. Now back in the day, it used to take them like 20 minutes, and they'd arrest everybody because they knew you were going to jail. And it did take a lot of time out of their day. Now it takes a lot of time out of the day, and it's not worth the effort.
Right.
The only thing is, so high crime, if you're killing, robbing, stealing, that's worth the effort. Unless you're a minor in Charlotte, because if you're under 18 and stuff, you can have 50 million. You can steal cars all day, and they ain't gonna do that to you.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I say all this? Because there is good law enforcement out there. There's community law enforcement that works with the community and stuff, and there are good officers out there. On the same accord, there are bad people out there who those good officers have to try to corral and maintain.
Absolutely.
That's well established. As we talk about these crime rates and stuff, a lot of the way that we have decided to enter our police departments across the country are doing more community police and stuff. That's why you look at these numbers, these crime numbers, and they're down and stuff. So when you look at DC, it's down because there's been a concerted effort from the community to work with local law enforcement, not just to police people, but to do preventative things in the neighborhood and community stuff that they're sworn to protect and stuff, and it's helping.
Right.
This having these unmasked people out there is not helping. Plus, when they're unmasked and we're trying, I don't know, like if you come to my house right now with a mask on, you're getting shot. You shot it off.
Ain't identified.
Officer. I told him I had that thing on me before he came to the door. I said, "Who is it?" He said, "Open up." I said, "Not by the hairs on my chin. And I blew that man in.
There's a lot of hairs on that chinny chin.
There's a lot of hairs on this chin. I'm trying to tell you, there's a safe full of ammo back there. You do not.
Hey, I mean, that's facts though. But with the Texas thing, the gerrymandering
Yes,
was
real
proceeding.
quick.
They ended up coming up with a map. One day they didn't have a map at all. 2 days later, they had a full map of revisions, which really meant that they had a map all along.
On its own.
And they did that so that it would limit the debate, limit the hearings on it, so they can go ahead and push it through. Once the Democrats realized that the Republicans had no intention of doing this in any good faith and in light of day, they decided that the only way to keep the Republicans from doing it, because you got to remember, Greg Abbott is a deceptive son of a bitch. He called the special session of Congress in. Congress was gone. The special session of Congress he convened under the guise of the gerrymandering and, oh, by the way, support for the people that got affected by the Texas floods. So he tried to use that as a cover. This is the same governor that has an independent grid and let people fucking freak, excuse me, people freeze to death because their grid is off of the grids. And when they lost power and everything, people sat there and died. Had no special session for that. But anyway, I digress. So the only thing that Democrats could do is leave, because to have the business of Congress go, there has to be a certain amount of legislatures, which we call a quorum, in place
Quorum.
to be able to do that. And by them leaving the state, they have denied Republicans the ability to have quorum, thus be able to go in and vote on any legislation. The governor is trying to get their seats vacated, saying they abandoned their jobs, even though quorums are part of the state constitution. They've even tried to get Kash Patel to have the FBI go round them up in New York and Chicago, and force bring them back, which is there is a term for that. It's called kidnapping.
Kidnapping. Yeah.
Because they don't have any jurisdiction. So you're not saying, hey, we need you to go arrest them, even though the House came up with their own warrant, which is not signed by a judge, it's just signed by the Speaker of the House.
Yeah, so they have no legal basis. And the other thing too, so Abbott was asked this question. He's like, "Well, they've abandoned their post." He said, "Well, you had a senator that got sick, and they basically there was nobody for like 6 or 8 months that was representing those people
Mhm.
because she got checked into a facility before her
Yeah,
term,
that woman.
and you didn't,
Yes.
and you didn't call anybody in then. So, what's
Right.
the difference between a couple of weeks and 6 or 8 months of not being represented?"
Thank you.
And as you pointed out, you're calling a special session. They're not even supposed to be there.
Anyway, and do you know what? You want to hear the crazy part? These people, because I guess this is a part-time job, they only get paid $600 a month.
Yeah.
600. Now, when you think about that, so that comes out to about what $7,200 a year. Think about your federal congressional people. Their minimum salary is $187,000 a year. These people are getting $7,200, and they're being braver than a lot of these other national Democrats that we have. So
Well,
what?
I think it's because they can't. I mean, obviously they're not being paid for.
Right, right,
So
right.
sort of like my opinions for the show or my opinions because nobody's telling me before I come on. Hey, you might want to angle it this way. If
They're gonna mess up your check if you say the wrong thing.
yeah, they're gonna mess up your check if you don't say the right thing.
Yeah,
Now
Lori's
I'm
in
not.
charge of payroll, so your check don't
Yeah,
come.
I'm not saying I can't be bought.
Oh, I can be bald too. Hey, somebody want to take over Empower TV? Give me a Skydance deal.
Which, hey, look, I want to circle back to that real quick. Uh, Firing Steve Colbert is one of those that sound funny now, but so you want to take him off of a major network and let him freelance out here talking shit about you? I'm not sure that's what you want.
Same. I agree. I thought the same thing too. I'm like, you probably had a little bit more control on him when he was
Control.
on the network. If you let him sit there and get his own channel because he has a following, he is going to light your ass up. But that's going to be part of the FAFO part of this. Lastly, I'll say this too, Jermaine. The Democrats got to get more steel. I don't need Gavin Newsom saying, if y'all do this, we're going to do that. Do it. I don't need Kathy Hochul saying in New York, if they do this, we're going to do this. Do it. Eventually, they're going to do it. Do it. Until the Democrats, if they ever do this, I don't have any faith. JD Prisker in Illinois, do it. Don't stop threatening Trump. Trump responds to one thing: power. You got to wield more power than he does. You see how he Vladimir Putin's bitch because Vladimir got the power. He will back down to power. If you just threaten, they think you just sitting there being the mom to say, if you do it again, I'm gonna spank you. If you do it again, I'm gonna spank you. He won't believe that until you hit his ass.
Well, so that's the thing. So we go back to Mitch McConnell telling Obama that he couldn't
Yes.
fill a Supreme Court seat, and then for Democrats to go, oh, well, that's the rule, so we'll follow the rule, and then to find out that they're not going to follow the rules. To your point, you're right. They've already threatened it. They're going to do it. So you don't have to wait for it. And if you do it and they complain about it, then you can use their sound bites to say that it was okay to do.
Exactly.
So, I mean, they can't have it both ways. And to my brother's point, you need to go ahead. And again, to my point earlier, it's guerrilla tactics out there. If you're going to be the gentleman and lining up on the field of battle with your cannons and your bayonets and stuff, and they got machine guns, they snipe you from the woods, you're going to lose. You need to change tactics. And until something changes, nothing changes.
Jeff Knipe, what's going on, sir?
What? A Jeff Knipe series? Satan?
Yep, Jeff Knipe.
What's up, brother?
Yeah, he came through Head to Head Sports the other day too.
Oh,
my
okay.
brothers. What's up? Jeff, we gotta get together sometime, man.
Hey, I don't have AC surgery and stuff. We ain't get together to play basketball. We go shoot some guns though. That's the only long range shot I got now. It's 5.56.
Basketball days are over. I told Christian Smith the same thing. I said, look, you shooting them damn bricks on that backboard, making that ball fall in. We ain't doing that no more. Oh,
yeah, my favorite point guard.
Ball fall right into the hoop. Anyway. Oh yeah. He was point guard, wasn't he? Me, you, and a bourbon. Man,
my man.
I just got
my man.
Hey, bro just got back from Shelbyville, Tennessee, where I went over to the Uncle Nearest distillery and landed on some master blend Uncle Nearest, 130
yes,
proof.
Sir.
So I got some master blend. I got another single barrel as well, and then their newest Nearest Green, which is only at 80 proof, but I hear it's pretty smooth. I hadn't cracked it open yet, but we look forward to doing that to celebrate too. So anyway, we will get into this more and more next week as well. We thank y'all for tuning in again. If you get a chance, please go to our YouTube channel, To Empower TV Network. Like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell. It'll also let you know when we go live there. Get that channel some love, because as Jermaine mentioned earlier with algorithms, the more views, the more clicks that we get on the YouTube, or it does push out organically to other people to be able to do that. If you're watching us, you guys hit me up on Messenger. Absolutely. Just make sure that you guys are sharing it, whether you're watching this live or watching this on the replay. Just let everybody know about Head to Head. Like I said, this is season 6. We've been doing it for 5 years, and we're going into our 6th season. And we couldn't do that without you guys' support. So we thank you for that. And for Lori and for the franchise, this is Brian Parker. We'll see y'all again next week. Peace.
This is ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma.